So this started another video because I paused it for too long because the phone rang. Alright, like I said, you want to place this star up here because it's the closest to up there. As close as you can to lining that up. That's just a tiny little bit off, but for what we're doing, it doesn't have to be exact because it doesn't... This is going to be black, so you're not going to have the star over here, so it's fine. So, once you have it placed to where you want, power clip again, and then press this. Okay, so at this point in time, your biggest thing is you want everything to be symmetrical, because, like, if these are here and you just kind of guessed for on this side, when you reflect the image to where they are, you could definitely tell, like, it's not symmetrical, and you just tell, like, it just looks off, and it's just something that I do is I make sure everything is completely symmetrical. So, as you can see from this, it's not symmetrical. Okay, I must have guessed on that one. Okay, so anyways, it's easier to go ahead and after you power clipped it inside, make a copy, Control C, and then I have no idea what that just did. Hold on, let me get back. Try this again. Control C. Don't know what that's doing. Okay, so let's try this a different way. Go back over here to your transformation menu. Okay, in your transformation menu, you want to go to scale and mirror. You want to mirror the image. This starts out at 0 copies. So you just want to move it up to 1 copy. And this button over here is to mirror the image horizontally, which would flip it 180 degrees basically. So, press that. I think that was already applied. And then press apply. And that brings you to this right here. Okay? But since you made a copy of it, that's already down here. So, I was just moving that to show you. So, on your copy, your mirrored image, go to right click, extract contents. And that brings the stars out here, and this part right here that you copied, you don't need anymore. You can just go ahead and delete that. Come over here, click on your stars. Power clip inside, click on that. And you have half your template. You can take this piece, because that's symmetrical to this, just do the same thing, mirror, and it's already clicked, you want to do it, and apply. And just make sure when you place it directly over what's there. And at this point, the way I did it is I sent this piece right here that you just copied down all the way to the back of layer, which was shift and page down. Okay, so I'm going to press it on the keyboard now. Shift page down, and that brings you to that on top, but you want to keep it clicked. Don't click anything yet off of it. You need to bring it up because technically it's behind the gray box. So, order, and then you need to bring it up 1, forward 1. But you still can't see it, technically. You can go over here in your object manager too, with your menu. And you can see, well, it's still underneath the locked rectangle. So, just bring it up until it's on top of the locked rectangle. Why are you not working now? Okay. Let's just do this on the keyboard, which is Control and page up. Yeah, get back. Okay, obviously I'm doing a bad job at showing you this because now I can't get this to move up. It's still there, it's just underneath the locked rectangle. So how about we'll do this? We will unlock the rectangle, and we to back of layer. Okay, there we go. And then we'll just lock it again. I don't really know the keyboard shortcuts that well for this. So, same deal for this piece. Flip it again. And that brings you right there. So, order back of layer. What is in front of? In front of, maybe this will work. In front of this? No. Okay, whatever. Order back of layer. And that brings you to that. And then once again you can get rid of that. And then once again, shift page up. Ooh, it worked this time. Shift to page up is to move it, and within the, there's shift page up and control page up. Shift page up moves it, jumps the whole page, and control page up just jumps it one group at a time or whatever. It just keeps jumping up. So as you can see, control page up, it would keep jumping it up one layer at a time. Shift page up, it jumps the whole thing. And like I said, when you right click and order, I'm sorry, where'd you go? Right click, yeah, order, and back one, back layer, whatever, all that stuff off to the side. It just gives you the keyboard shortcuts. Okay, now that we have that hood, I am going to go over to this file that I sent you and pick up this template for that rear fender. I'm just going to do one at the moment so I could show you. So control copy, and I just clicked on the white right here and then just press control C. Come over back to his page and control V, which is just pasting where it was pasted originally from the other page. So now all these three objects, hold on, I need another hand here. In order to, I'm trying to do this so you can see it too. I just clicked on the one piece of red, but I'm over here in the Object Manager. If you press Control, Curve, and then Curve, all three of those, it lets you pick whatever you want. So you can pick multiple things. At this point in time, I'm going to group them, group objects, also Control G, which is the same in Illustrator. And that gives me over here a group of three objects. And then when you expand it down, it's this curve, curve, curve. So now that I have that, once again, I'm going to make a copy of this just so I can have it for reference. Yeah, I made a copy, but I didn't control. Okay. Control copy, or Control C, and Control V for paste. So now I have two copies, one up here, those original, and this one down here. So we're going back to the transformation again. Now going back to this page, I didn't really put what to rotate with the red and the blue, but I mean, you can kind of see it's just like on the opposite rotation of what the curve is of the bike. So I'm gonna go back to this page, and you can just, not, like I said, not everything has to be exact, but get back over here to the rotate, and this point in time, I think I pressed 15 degrees earlier, and that gives me a good rotation. So let's put that right about there. Power clip inside, click the template. Same thing with this. Control C, Control V. Gives you another copy of that. Go over here. You want the same degree rotation and press apply. And then at this point in time, you need to line up. No, the wrong button. Pretty much directly onto just where it's overlapping the red a little bit. You don't want any white showing in between the red and the blue. So, same thing, power clip inside, and go ahead and click on the white, and that brings you, like I said, it doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but if you just take this, Control Copy, and just for comparison reasons, I'm just gonna, oh, shush. No, that's why. Oops. Hold on. This program's different than mine. So, like, my scroll thing's different. So, like I said, it's not perfectly the same or whatever. You can see there's a little bit off, and, you know, like, as far as it's not, like, in the same exact position, but, I mean, that's what, I'm not looking for everything to be perfectly the same as what you did previously, but just pretty much the same. Okay, so at this point in time, we're going to grab this that we grouped earlier, and I only need one of these, so I'm not going to copy and paste, so I'm going to bring it up over here. Where'd you go? What does that say? Ignore power clip out. Okay, it's because I understand why. Okay, when you drag it over here, because you brought this template from the other page, tactically over here in your object manager, it is the very top thing. So it's bad. Number plate background is still there. It's just hiding underneath of this because in your layer itself, it's just not the top thing. So you can do what we did earlier. Shift page down, and that takes it below the gray box, and shift page up brings it one layer, or whatever you want to say, whatever you want to call it. I call it layer, even though it's technically not a layer, above the rectangle, the locked rectangle. So with the number plates, the way I do it is just pretty much, they're not exactly, the lines aren't exactly symmetrical with what you're working with here, but they're pretty close. And I just kind of bring it up pretty close to the top, and then power clip inside. No, because that's why. Power clip inside, and then press on that. So now all this is one piece. You can't, there's nothing that, you can't move anything off of it. Once you grab it, everything grabs all the same. So let's go to my number here. Number 4. Go back to my little notes over here. Rotate name, okay, rotate number 60 degrees. So bring your number close, or you put it in. Get back over here to transformations, and change to 15 degrees now to 60 degrees, and enter. Okay, so that was the wrong rotation because it was the wrong way. So Control Z for undo. And now you still want it to be 60 degrees, but instead of being positive 60 degrees, it'll be negative 60 degrees. So negative 60, enter, and that brings you to the rotation of where you want to be. So this is pretty much about there, about the same area. And it said a little note, it said hold W. I don't know if that works or not. Okay. I don't know, it's not working. So power clip inside and click again. And then once again, everything is the same. So we'll bring the Honda. See, the Honda is on a different note, rotate Honda 24 degrees. That's because the Honda is parallel with this line up here. So everything is about having straight lines pretty much. So you want to go over here and find the Honda logo. Just somewhere over here. Okay. So once again, make a copy of it, Control C, Control V, and that brings you your copy. Go to your transformation menu, and what did it say? 24 degrees. And you already know you need the negative part in there to rotate it for the correct rotation angle for this one. So negative 24, and that brings you there. And then at this point in time, place it in between. You don't want it overlapping the black because of, like, you won't be able to read it obviously, so you need to have a space in between the A and like the top line up here. If it overlapped the red, it wouldn't really matter, but I have it to size to where it fits directly in there at the moment. So, and again, power clip. And when you're picking power clip inside, you have to press the white of the template, because that is what you're power clipping inside. So before we go any further, I'm going to go over here to Object Manager, which is more like my layers folder, was what I'd call it in Illustrator. And it's all the way at the bottom. Like, if you click on it, it automatically highlights it in the Object Manager. And at this point in time, it shows you, if you use the little plus minus, it shows you the drop down arrow. So the group of 3 objects, I mean, you can see those are the curves. So if you need to see what's actually going on involved in this template for whatever reason, say if you need to go in there and copy something, you just use the drop down and then you go into each individual thing. That's the stars. And that curve right there is the number. There's a group of 5 objects. That's the Honda logo. And yeah, that is the number plate. Okay, so we're going to go back over here to the logo. So I have OXCR, Maxis, RJR, Fast, and 450 logo. So we're going to pick those up, but we're going to copy them. I need 2 hands with this, so give me a second. So 450 Fast, RJR, Maxis, and AXCR, they're all copied and made accessible to use while still having another copy up here, because doing logos, you do multiples of the same logo on the same bike. Go back over here, rotate 8 degrees. So I'm going to go over here into my Object Manager initially, and I'm going to pick up every single one of these logos. So I'm going to click on one initially, and hold the Control button down, and then click on the other 3. Okay, I guess there's 4. So there's 5 logos total. And then I'm going to go over here to my transformation page and put in there 8 degrees. And did I transform me? No, that was the wrong way. So I needed to go negative 8 degrees. So come back over here. And we'll go for negative 8. Enter. So the order is the 450 fast, RJR, Maxis, OXCR. The way I do the order of the logos, pretty much the order of the most prominent and the most important logos up at the top, because they're usually the biggest, because it's the biggest area, because you have all of this over here, and then go down from there. Or whatever fits the best also tends to be how I do it. So fast 450R I usually just kind of use as a spacer just to fill in. So obviously this fast isn't going to fit there, so you need to resize it. So when you resize something, you hold the shift key down and it resizes everything proportionally. Otherwise, if you don't hold the shift key down, it's not proportional, you're just stretching it. So that way everything is proportional. So you kind of space the logos pretty well evenly. Keep in mind, his name is right there, so you still need to have room for his name. So you can either do his name first or this logos, RJR, Maxis, OXCR. Okay, let's grab the RJR, same thing, resize, hold shift. So once you get the logos kind of sized what you need and place them where you want to place, they're pretty much even spacing for the most part. I mean, they're not going to be exact, plus it's hard to do exact spacing because everything is like a different shape. I make the 450R logo a little bit smaller version or a little bit smaller logo than the rest of them, because it's not really a sponsor logo, it's just kind of more of a filler. And I don't really worry about spacing or anything like that. So now that you have all your logos placed where you want them to be placed at, you're going to take them and group them. So everything over here is already on the top because you make copies of it. Anytime you make a copy of it and paste it, it just automatically pastes at the top of the layers or your object manager. So once again, click on one and then hold the control button down and click on the other logos that you want to group and then group them. Control G for group. Okay, power clip inside, and now it's all one piece. As far as his name goes, I did not try the text yet before I started this video. So, over on this side, text tool. So we're gonna kind of learn this together. Okay, his name, and always in capital locks, unless otherwise specifically asked, Ianbur. Wait, how about we'll do the first name first. Okay, so up here, Arial, I know the name of that font is Edge Racer. I just know the name of it. And that did not change it to that. Yeah, it's still under Arial. Okay, there we go. I had to highlight it to bring it up. Okay, that's his first name. And you got that down. So, whenever you're doing a name, or any kind of typing, or anything like that, you always need to convert to curves. That way, if you leave it as a text, and somebody else, like if I open that file and I don't have that text font, it'll want to automatically convert it to the default, which is Arial, or a different one in mine. But everything text-wise needs to be converted to curves. Okay, that's his first name. Go over here, click on the little text tool again, and last name Burns, and it's under that Arial. Get back in, change it to Edge Racer. Come on. Oh, come on, you stupid thing. EDGE Racer. And click on it, get it off the text, get it back to your pointer, click on it, and convert to curves. Okay, so if you get back over to your original page, the Ian is black and the Burns is red. So you can change it now or change it later. Red. It says rotate name 24 degrees. So we'll go over here. And I'm going to click both. And rotate. And in my transformation menu, both at the same time. So negative 24 4 degrees. And that just makes everything like easier. And then since they're both clicked, I'm going to go ahead and resize them both at the same time. Once again, holding the shift button to resize everything proportionally. So, if you go back over here for reference, it's kind of close to the little corner over there without actually being into the corner because it's a round corner, so there's a little bit of white space right there. And it's also, there's an outline around the name, and it's kind of going into the black. And the same thing with the Burns, you know, there's an outline around the name, and that's going up into the black also. So, that's pretty much sitting on the black. Bring the Burns over, and that was pretty much sitting on the black. I have the outline there because obviously it's a red, white, and blue theme, and you can't even see his name. So Control copy, Control V for paste in place. Get back over to the Object Manager. For an outline, I'm going to pause the video. Okay, so for the outline, you need to, I always make 2 copies, so the outline is actually underneath, the outline copy is underneath the original copy. So we already made our copy and pasted, so I'm going to go over here to the Object Manager. So the good thing about Corel is, like, let me see if I can get closer, like both of these are red, and your object's red, so if you change, let's do a noticeable color like blue, then it changes that little curvy thingy to blue. So that way it kind of makes it easier to know what you're grabbing a hold of. Okay, So you're gonna add an outline. And so you go up here to this little outline with control button. Right now it's on none. And you kind of need to play with it to see what looks the best. I mean, this, if you get back to this one, it's a pretty bold outline. So we're on 4, let's go to 8. And then if that's too much or whatever, you can always type in the outline you need also to go up or down. Let's try 7. 7 looks good. And then, okay, I don't need to do anything with that. So, looking over here, your original name over here is on top, and this is none up here for the width, and then this, I don't know what happened. The one underneath of it, and it says 7 points, which is, like I said, I always do a second one. So to change the color of the outline, you need to pause. Hold on. Alright, back to our video. So now that I figured that out. Okay, so I came up here to the little arrow button, it says default palette, and it said outline color, and I already clicked weight, so that just automatically changes it to weight. Okay, so now that's a white outline, and then your Burns original one's on top. So once again, you can group these. Grab both of them over the object, Control G. Okay, so now at the end, you want to do the same thing. Control C, Control V, and go over to the one that's underneath, which is this one, and it's a little bit thinner of an outline because it's not, you don't want it to be as bold and stand out as much. So the last one was 7, so we'll do this one at like, oh, we'll see what 4. Except for set outline color, go back to weight. Okay. But I don't really know because I didn't bring it down far enough, so I can't even tell what the outline of it is. So it's just little details like this that I put into stuff, like as far as you won't even know if there's a, you could just leave it up here if you want, or you could drag it down just to give it that little bit extra detail to where there's an outline around it, but you wouldn't be able to see it up here, but you're able to see it around the black line. So let me go over here, and I'm going to group the two ends together first. This is why you press the control button when you're grabbing two objects to group them together, because you press the shift button and it grabs the objects, and if there's anything in between, it grabs everything in between. So you can hold the control button, you can pick and select which objects you want to grab without grabbing all of them over here. So I grabbed the two objects and Control G for group. Okay, so at this point in time, I can move, I'm going to just move it with my cursor on my keyboard over here where I want it to be. So now I can see what my outline looks like. So I'm going to go back over here, go to the bottom one, which is curve, and I just want it to be a little bit thicker. Right now we're on 4 points, so see what 5 looks like. 5 looks good, and we're good with that. And now we have our rear fender. So pretty much that is the process that you need to go through with the whole thing. Name and number plates are more difficult than anything else, I'd say. And I did not make a copy of that 4. This is why I say make a copy of everything, because I'll just do the hood number plate real quick, so that way you could see what's going on. So go back over here to reference, zoom out. I have a little scrolly button thingy on my mouse, which allows me to zoom in and out very easily on the screen. So the number plate background is black. And then you have his name again, Ian Burns. number 4, and my logo. Okay, so we'll start with the actual number plate over here. Well, obviously you need to, first thing you need to do is change this to black, and you can see, back in reference, this is kind of like in the middle. It doesn't take up the whole space, but it's not supposed to. So it's kind of in the middle, which, if your program is nifty like mine, it pretty much will automatically detect what, if you already have a line, which we do from the previous top up here, which I always keep a straight line down the center of the number plates for the front, just to make everything easier for the hood, so you can see where everything lines up, even though you don't always put everything to exact to center, because even though it's exact to center, it will still look off to the eye if the number is kind of funky shaped. I'll show you shortly, because I'm sure this 4 is going to be not exactly center. So I just kind of drug it over here, but it kind of automatically snapped to where it needed to be for center. Okay, so power clip inside, and just make that one object, so that way you can move it and nothing, whatever, you're not moving anything else. So at this point in time, looking, because I did not copy the 4, I'm just going to cheat over here and bring this one over instead of, otherwise I would have to go back into this layer, which is right here on my object manager thingy, and find that number, which is right there, the only curve, and then make a copy of it, and then go back over to the transformation menu and undo the, it says negative 24, I'd have to transform back to 24 degrees, blah blah blah. This is why I say make a copy. But like I said, I just cheated on this one and brought the number over from the original page. So we'll bring that down, make a copy of the Edge logo. But we do need to make a copy of the Ian Burns, which I did not put into the power clip yet. So I'll go over here and I'm going to grab both of these. Control C for copy. And I'm going to, hold on, I'm going to grab both of these again and make them a group for, I make everything a group. So everything, it has to do with everything should be a group. So the name should be all grouped as one in the end. And then power clip aside. And there you go. So that way, like when you grab it, and like when I'm moving stuff around to get it ready for print, because I have to, when I'm printing stuff, this stuff is like